Sorry about that, guys. It looks like our connection dropped or something went wrong, but we're back. And I was just talking about the widgets on the front of the home screen of the N8. So I'm not sure where we got to, but I just said that you get a brief look at your own account. Then tap down. You've got a button to update status, which takes you to updating status straight from the home screen. One click and you can type something. Another click and it's posted. Go down again, and I start seeing recent messages from people I either follow on Twitter or are friends with on Facebook. So, first one here is from a radio station that I'm following on Twitter, just talking about what they're discussing on air. Down again, a tweet from my friend Chris, who works for another tech website. Down again, it's an update from a website that I'm following on Twitter, The Next Web. Just one of their headlines. Again, and I can just scroll through. I can just go through, down, until I find one that's really interesting. So there was one there from Top Gear, BBC Top Gear. Let's go back to that. Tap on it itself, and I'm taken straight into the Twitter app where I can see that in full. That's widgets in a nutshell, really. They're very handy, and it updates automatically to give you kind of at a glance stuff from your social networks. So lots of phones have widgets. Very few of them are as useful as that. Lots of them let you see things, but very few let you kind of tap directly into those things. If you tap your average Facebook or Twitter widget, you'll just go into the Twitter app. You won't go into the composed message screen of that app, or you won't go straight into that tweet in that app. You'll go into the app as a whole, and then you're kind of, right, okay, well, I saw something interesting on the widget, and now I've got to hunt for it again in the app. So it's quite nice that Nokia have done that. It's not rocket science, but it's a very nice touch, and it just makes everything slightly easier. We talked briefly about third-party apps. We talked about Foursquare, and we talked about how you can add that stuff in. That's another really important thing with social networking, that you can, 3-4 years ago, no one had really heard of Facebook. Very few people had heard of Twitter. It's quite important that the N8's open and you can download any apps you like. So I just before we started doing this, I was looking at social network apps in the Ovi store, and there are tons. There's things on there to do video calls and free Skype calls. Foursquare has appeared now in the App Store. There's eBuddy Mobile Messenger, which we talked about before, that brings all your instant messaging networks into one place. There's so much to choose from. It's dead simple to add stuff to the N8 as well. You just go to store.ovi.com or go into the Ovi store on here, tap download, and assuming you've already logged in and you've told it to remember your login details, you're away. And I'm looking at it, and all of these social networking apps that I can see are free. So have at it, knock yourself out. We're going to take a few more questions now, because there's not much more for us to run through on social networking. I'll talk briefly about YouTube just towards the end, but to be honest, it's very bog standard. So we'll run through it just so you guys have seen it. If you have any questions, ping us a line. We're on at ElectricPig on Twitter. We're facebook.com/ElectricPig. Or you can get us in the live chat below, or the comments section if you want to stay anonymous below that, or editor@electricpig.co.uk. Drop us an email and we'll try and include it as well. So any more, Ben?
Yeah, we've got a couple. VG Republic again on the chat. He asked, do Facebook games work on the Facebook app? I never use Facebook on my phone, so I never tried them on anything apart from a laptop.
Any games, Facebook games? They don't really. No. In a word, no.
What about if you use Facebook through the browser on Nokia N8?
You can go in through Facebook on a browser, but you get Facebook Mobile, which is. I'll show it to you. Here we go. It's probably the easiest way. So I just hop into the browser. There's the first thing you see in the browser is your shortcuts. Let me just make sure I can see what you guys are seeing, so I can make sure you see the screen. So there you go. First thing you see is the shortcuts that you've saved. So I don't want any of those. I want to go to a web address. I want to go to facebook.com. Facebook.com. I'm rubbish with old style keyboards. I need to use QWERTY. So it's just going to load. Again, bearing in mind our Wi-Fi connection is quite slow, so it takes a while. There you go, and there's mobile Facebook asking me to log in. Same deal as normal. I'll put in my email address. I'll do it this way around, be a bit quicker. James Holland. Bear with me. In. Don't want to remember my login details, not there. There we go. It's just logging in. A few seconds and you'll see. There we go. So I'm into Facebook mobile, which is, it's not bad. It's not very pretty. It's just a stream of text basically. So you can see my updates at the top. News feed. There's still no games, I'm afraid. VG Republic, was it? But you know, I've got pretty much the same stuff that was in the social app. It's just a bit more vertical. It's not as easy to go through, and it's not as pretty. And to be honest, it's not as fast because I've had to go into a browser and I had to log in and faff about. I prefer to use the app any day. Any more questions, Ben?
Yeah, we have a couple more. Jen in the chat has asked, does it have a full raft of social networks, even, well, not just Bebo, but Gowalla and things like that?
The social app that's included has Facebook and Twitter, and that's it at the moment. Nokia have said they're going to add some more. They're yet to do that. I was just looking, as I say, on the OV store, looking at social networks. They've got lots of Twitter apps, Foursquare's on there. I haven't seen Gowalla yet. It may be here. Let's have a quick look. No, there's a couple of widgets that say they'll sync up to Gowalla, but there isn't a Gowalla app. Best thing you can do if you want to know which apps are available, just go to store.ov.com, and then you can search to your heart's content. Something that is really useful to do though. Up at the top it'll say choose your phone. If you tell it using a Nokia N8, even if you don't have one yet, it will restrict all the results for everything you see, so you'll never see anything that won't work on N8. So you won't see any old apps that are too old to work on your new Symbian. That's probably the easiest thing you can do. I've got an email here. I'm just looking on email from Matt. He says he's having trouble viewing the live stream, but thought he'd take part anyway. I managed to get hold of an N8. Ooh, lucky boy. And I'm absolutely loving it. It's really easy to use a social networking app. I've posted quite a few pics already from the camera. 3 pics and it's closed. 3 clicks and it's posted. It's a shame at the moment there aren't more apps out there. I'm especially missing my old iPlayer and YouTube app from the 5800. Some are fine, but it's trial and error so far. So not really a question, more of a kind of a report on your experiences, which is good. Good to hear you like it. I don't know if you've seen, though, Matt, but there is a YouTube app. It's not really an app; it's a shortcut built in. I'll show you that now because I did promise we'd take a quick look at YouTube. It's under applications. It's hidden down the bottom. See it there. Now, while phones like the iPhone and Android have built-in apps, this is really a shortcut to YouTube Mobile. But there are a few benefits in that you wouldn't necessarily anticipate. So there's YouTube Mobile. It's nothing to write home about. It's just YouTube crammed onto a small screen. Here's something cool though. Because the N8 supports Flash, all these videos they just play. There you go. That's playing. And if I double tap, so that's a Flash app, Flash player, working completely natively on the N8. Something that is cool though, because you're using the mobile version, not an app that has restrictions or can tell whether you're using 3G or Wi-Fi, you can upload to YouTube whatever you like. So if you are out producing videos for your social network, because this is YouTube mobile, it doesn't care what you upload. So you can upload full HD 720p video. I'd probably use Wi-Fi, but it will let you use 3G if you want to. You can upload whatever you like. Just throw some files at it, and it will accept them, because the N8 has a file structure, just as it's expecting for a PC. So it'll say choose your file, click browse, and you see your files and folders just as you would on PC. You don't get that on the iPhone, and it just works. It's a lot like using a desktop, except for it's crammed down onto a small screen. Any more questions, Ben, before we crack on?
Yeah, I've got a couple more here. Ashish has asked, the social widget allows you to save details of your friends and the contacts. But if someone's details get changed, say in Facebook or their Twitter account, do these changes automatically get reflected in your phone's contacts?
No, I don't think there's live syncing. Whereas there was live syncing on things like the old ink phones, and they worked with Facebook in that it would properly pull your address book from lots of places into one. So it doesn't do live syncing, but you do get a button in there for social networks. So you'll see your friend Ben, and it'll say his name, his photo. You have a button for voice call or send a message, or you can tap social networks and it'll take you straight to his profile. So it is linked. It doesn't sync. It doesn't sync data. It pulls in the photo and pulls in a link to social networks, but it doesn't sync their numbers. As far as I'm aware, it hasn't done for me so far anyway. Something that is quite cool though, I'll just show you what I remember. Multitasking. If someone emailed, I'm afraid I haven't got your name, but someone emailed last week asking about multitasking on the N8, and how it does it, how it works. So on the iPhone you have to double tap and it slides up from the bottom. On the N8 you hold down the menu key, and there you go, there's all the windows I've got open. So I'll go and load, what do you reckon, I'll load maps. And just going to call up my window. Yeah, my position. There we go. So it's loading up maps now. Hold down the menu button, and there you go. So I've got the menu is open, YouTube is open, maps is open. I can close those, so I'll close YouTube, and I can skip back to the menu. And I was trying this, and I've had loads open. I had like 15, 20 windows open at one point. It was quite scary. Some of them are web pages, some of them are photos, some of them are full-blown apps. The phone didn't get sluggish. I could tell I had lots open, but it's it's pretty handy. I'm trying to think what else I haven't covered about Facebook. I'm sure there must be something. You can message lots of places at once. You can combine all your social networks into one place. You can use different keyboards. You can use predictive text as well as T9, and there's if you turn it into landscape mode, I'll just show you. Just going to one activity. Again, I went straight in from the widget there, so it's gone straight into the social app, and I'm in, ready to update. So update status. Hit update status. There's my text window. Now if I tap into it, turn it horizontally. Tap the options button, input options. I've got predictive text already on, so that's easy. I'll start writing hello. I don't know if you can see, but it pops up. It pops up words next to what I'm typing, and of course I've pressed the wrong button and come out. Update status. So I'll type it again. Hello. So knock comes up as Bok. Knock. Yeah. N8. Yes, it's predicted fans. It's quite hard to type sideways and show you guys what I'm doing, but it does. It tries to stay more or less a step ahead of you. I have one more question in from Rob Sadler. Not sure if I missed it already. I missed the first couple of minutes. That's all right, Rob. Don't worry. You can watch all of these live chats back. What we do is when this live broadcast's over, we'll stop it. We'll upload it to YouTube, and then we'll embed it so you can always watch back if you've missed anything. I emailed earlier in the week to ask if a Class 2 microSD card is suitable for the N8, or if you'd recommend a higher class. Cheers, Rob. It's a really good question, Rob, because microSD cards, like all SD cards, come in a few different flavours. They come in different speeds. So essentially, the higher the class, the higher amount of data that it will write at once. I'll just show you guys the microSD port. It's right next to the SIM card slot. Just inside there. Now, the 16 gig inside the N8 already, and it will take up to 32 gigs in microSD, which gives you 40. My maths is right. 40 gigs to play with. Why would you want a nice fast card? Well, if you're recording HD video from the camera, you want the fastest possible. So, to be honest, it will support Class 2, but you'd be a fool not to. If you were buying a card specifically for this phone, just go for the higher class. They're not that expensive. You will notice that speed, and it just means that you're never going to risk any problems recording HD video. It will work with other microSD cards, but either record to the hard memory, or if you're going to be moving lots of files around, use the high speed when you're able to. Any more questions? Let me glance at Ben's screen. Do people's updates show in other places, like the address book or the home screen? They don't show up in the address book, so there's a couple of social networking phones that pull in updates. So if you're about to phone your friend, you can see if they're sending photos from holiday, and then you might not want to ring them. The N8 doesn't do that, but it does, like I say, it gives you these kind of one-touch widgets, which I don't know if you can see. There we go. Actually, there's one from a few minutes ago from Electric Pig on Facebook. You can scroll through these with little arrows. You can even see in this tiny little screen how many people like it. So you can see that HTC Desire HD post there has a little thumbs up, if you can see that. But they don't go anywhere else. No, Ian in the chat. They don't go anywhere else like the address book. They just come into the widget or into the app itself. Dennis on email, how does it update? Does it do a pull down thing like the iPhone, or is it automatic? And if so, how often does it do that? Because I like the update pull down thing. I think you mean on the iPhone, to refresh the screen, you can sometimes scroll down and let go, and it springs back. And that means and that prompts it to update. Same with the N8. You can force it to do an update, although I'm not sure how often it updates automatically, but mine has been doing it for a couple of weeks now. Every time I look at it, there's something new, so it seems to be doing it every few minutes. Every time I pull it out of my pocket, there's something that I haven't seen on the social widget. That said, I do have lots. I do follow quite a few people on Twitter, and I do often miss things, so it's frequent, is what I'd say. But you can force it to refresh if you go into the app. Any more questions? We've got time. We've got time for about 3 more questions, I reckon. We've got about 15 minutes. So if you want to get us, if you want to find something out, just drop us a tweet at Electric Pig in Twitter, or talk to us through Facebook, facebook.com/electricpig. Drop us an email if you like. Those are right in front of me. editor@electricpig.co.uk. I'm Electric Pig editor James Holland. This is Ben, who's our reviews editor. Or you can talk to us in the live chat window below, or drop us a comment just above that, but still below. Go on, Ben.
Here, a couple more. Oscar has asked, if you compare this to the HTC Desire, which is the one you'd go for?
Personally, and it's always going to be a personal choice, I would probably go for the N8, which is a bit of a controversial one. I really like the shape of the N8, and to me, like, I'm not a big fan of. I think the HTC Desire is a little bit ugly, if I'm brutally honest. I like the kind of the bonkers colour that you can get the N8 in. I really like the screen. I like the fact that you get lots more bells and whistles with the N8, so I can play things through HDMI if I want to. It's got Dolby noise cancelling. I like the camera on this. I said before, if you guys can watch back the camera Q&A, I prefer the camera. I'll take a lot of photos with my phone, and I prefer the camera interface on this than the iPhone that I usually use, which is a work phone, because this is simple, but there is a bit of control there. So I'm quite a keen photographer. I can tweak things. There's a few different reasons why I picked this, but yeah, I think Nokia have actually done a very good job with the N8. I lost faith in Nokia for a little bit. I think this is a cracking phone. I think it's really good. Any more questions? It's always going to be a personal choice, though. So.
Yeah, we've got a couple more here. Vickers wants to know about the aluminium case. Is it A, is it unbreakable, and B, is the upper part aluminium and is the lower part plastic? Where does it stop?
Nothing is unbreakable. I'll try and break it if you like. It's a pretty uniform sound. The back is aluminium. This bit here, if you can see this, I'm not even looking at the video window, so I can't see what you can see. This bit here, you can just see it looks like a different shade. In the hand, it's really not that different. That bit is plastic by the looks of it, and so is that. So it's plastic on either end with a kind of aluminium band around the middle here. The thing is, though, because of the way it tapers up, the thing that's going to hit anything if you drop it down or on its side is always going to be the aluminium. You can see the camera juts out a little bit. That is all aluminium around it. That kind of bezel, that lump. There's no hard cover, so you are going to have to be a little bit careful because the glass is exposed. That said, it's Gorilla Glass, it's tempered, it's kind of scratch-proof. Nokia say it meets all their scratch-proof tests, which doesn't really tell you much, but it's nice to know it is scratch-proof. It feels really solid. It's bolted together rather than clipped together. You can see little bolts on the side. And unusually for Nokia, I think this might be the first Nokia, there's no removable battery, so you can't get into this thing to break it. There's just two slots on the side for the memory card and for the SIM. Other than that, it's pretty much sealed. So, any more questions? We've got about 10 minutes to go.
We've got a couple more here. Big Matt Sellers asked on Twitter, what's the response like on the phone when using a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse? I didn't know you could use a Bluetooth mouse, but obviously...
I haven't tried Bluetooth keyboard. I'll tell you what, let's try. I've got a Bluetooth keyboard in front of me. Any more questions? I'm going to have to unpair it from my Mac and faff about it.
Yeah, there's a couple more in the meantime whilst we got that.
Let me turn this off.
We got here. Vickers also wants to know, is the screen scratch-proof in any way?
Screen is Gorilla Glass. So, sorry Vickers, you're going to have to excuse me while I mess about while talking to you. Screen is scratch-proof. It's Gorilla Glass. It's I think it's drop-proof, scratch-proof. I've been using it for about 3 weeks and it's not knackered yet. I'm generally pretty careful with things anyway, but it's yeah, it's pretty hard wearing. I've just seen something quite interesting. I just went into settings to switch on Bluetooth. It says USB not connected. I hadn't noticed this before. I know you can hook up mass storage to this, so you can hook up a hard drive or a flash memory stick. There was an option there for a USB keyboard, which I've never seen before. I'm not sure what that does, but there you go. So Bluetooth on. Try and pair something. Sorry guys, bear with me. Right, put my keyboard into pairing mode.
There's another quick question whilst you're setting that up. Sam has asked over email regarding copy and pasting. How easy is it to copy and paste a URL into the social networking app? And is there an integrated URL shortener?
There's no integrated URL shortener that I could see. Copy and paste on the phone as a whole is pretty easy. I'll show it you in just 2 seconds. I promise I'll show you before we end. Come on. There we go. Keyboard's flashing. Now, how on earth do I feed it into this phone? To be honest with you, I've never done this before, so I'm not entirely sure how you do it. It's not giving me an option to pair a keyboard. See, normally if you were pairing a pair of headphones, you'd hold down the button on the headphone and it would say, I've detected you. I've held down the button on the keyboard, it's not detecting much. It is on, shown to all. I think we might be onto a loser here. Sorry about that. I'll keep trying and we'll update something in the post if I can get it to work. But don't hold your breath just yet. That said, it did say it take a USB keyboard. Whatever you want to use that for. So, what was that question? It was copy and paste. Alright, let me... Okay, I'll go into notes. Probably the easiest way to show you copy and paste. Do a new note. So, I'm going to type, hello, here... You can watch me type. Hello, here I am copying and copying and pasting. Cool. Now, do you see that? I don't know if you can see that. It might be far too far away. I just dragged a finger over the text. I'm going to try and get a bit closer because this is a bit fiddly. So I'll take copy and pasting options. Where's it gone? No, it's making me edit it. Editing options. Of course, I knew I'd seen it. So there you go. I select whatever I like. Options, editing options, copy. It's quite hard to do this upside down. Then I can just put a few lines, options, paste, and there you go, in it goes. Easy, easy peasy. So you don't tap and hold the word, you select and then you go into options, copy, paste. So not quite as straightforward as it could be, but it's dead easy, and it's as easy as that across any of the N8 apps. So whether it's the browser or the social app or the notes or email, it's a shared clipboard, so they just work. And like I say, if you hold down the menu button, you'll get this multitasking window where you can see all the things you've got open. So you can copy from email, multitask, zip over to social, paste it in, bang. You know, it's pretty straightforward. Any more questions? You've probably got time for one more question after this one, so get them in quick. We're on Electric Pig, @ElectricPig at Twitter, facebook.com/ElectricPig, editor @electricpig.co.uk, or either of the chat or comment things below.
Vic has just asked in the chat, what's the processing speed like, and does when the GPU is being taxed, so when you're watching movies or opening many applications, does it slow down much?
Okay, I'm not going to sit here, we've only got a couple of minutes left, I'm not going to sit here and open loads of movies because it'll take a while. It's very responsive. You know, people get hung up on how many megahertz a phone has. To me, it's not about the specs, it's not about the numbers, it's about whether it's a good phone at the end of the day, and how useful it is, and how speedy and zippy it is in practice. The N8 is very quick. Nokia have done a really good job, considering this is a brand new Symbian OS. It's really responsive. I've shown this in every Q&A, but it's the most visual kind of it's the most visual demonstration is to show you photos. because these are 12 megapixel photos, so there's quite a lot of data for it to shovel around, and I can't get ahead of it really. There's a couple of videos there that it doesn't like, but these photos, you know, I can't really fault it because it's so yeah, pretty quick, pretty zippy, and I've had quite a lot of stuff open on it at once, and it hasn't slowed down, as I said earlier on, not noticeably anyway. Any more questions? This will probably be the last one.
Yeah, I think it's just time for one last one. Which Catherine on Twitter, she asks, with the Facebook and Twitter app, can you force an update? Right?
Yeah, you can. So I'm just going to tap into my widget. There you go. I'm in Twitter. Quick as that. Options, refresh. There you go. Twitter's refreshing now, and it's refreshed. There you go. Simple as that. What was that? A couple of seconds, 3-4 seconds. You can do that with Facebook as well. So it updates on its own, and you can force it. So thanks very much for joining us. If you have any more questions, probably best to drop them in the comments section below, and we'll try and answer as many as we can. Or you can help each other out as well. You can talk to each other, because some of you are bound to know some of the questions, some of the answers that others don't. This is our last live Q&A, but they've been brilliant, you know. So let us know what you think of them. If you'd like us to do more, if you'd like us to do them any differently, just drop us a note. Probably best to email us or let us know in the comments from editor@electricpig.co.uk, or let us know in the comments section. Thanks very much. Bye.